An employee in a frosty cafe publicly humiliated a black boy with Down syndrome. The cruel world pressured the boy as he tried to place an order. Keanu Reeves appeared at the right time, and his act left no one indifferent. Friends, let us know in the comments under what conditions you watch this video. In the background, while working, or during lunch. Also, don't forget to subscribe, because tomorrow another emotional story will be waiting for you. Under the scorching sun of Las Vegas, where the asphalt seems to melt and the air hums with the heat and energy of the city, the glass doors of the ice cream parlor open one by one. It's cool and fragrant inside, with the sweet aroma of waffle cones, chocolate, and vanilla. Children are laughing, adults are sighing, and employees, tired of the endless stream of customers, are mechanically performing their duties. This place is not a tourist trap, but a real island of joy for the locals. Tables of bright colors, walls painted like a rainbow, create an atmosphere of lightness. But today, something is going to happen here that will leave an imprint in the heart of every visitor forever. Jaden is standing at the door, a 10-year-old boy with big brown eyes and a slow but sincere smile. His skin is as dark as a desert night, and his face glows with kindness. Jaden has Down syndrome, and he is a little nervous. Today is his big day. He has been preparing for a whole week to make the order himself, without his mom, on his own. In his hand, he holds a piece of paper with large block letters on it. "1 vanilla cone with colored sprinkles, please." He has repeated it dozens of times in front of the mirror, replayed it in his head, whispered it in bed before going to sleep. This is his dream. This is his test. His mother stands behind him. She is a woman in comfortable clothes, with a slight worry in her eyes and a phone in her hand. She does not hold back a gentle smile. In her eyes, there is pride and anxiety mixed with love. She knows how much effort her son has put in, and she gives him space. This is his moment. The line is long. People turn their heads and grumble from time to time. Someone looks at his watch. The worker behind the counter, a young man with a tired face and a cap on his head, looks at the line and sighs. He has been on his feet for several hours. He doesn't want any complications. When Jaden gets closer to the counter, all he feels is a buzzing in his ears and a heart beating furiously. He opens his mouth to start speaking, but the words slur. He starts too quietly. His speech is slow, as usual, and he needs time. He wants to say it right. The worker rolls his eyes and abruptly says, "Hurry up, kid. There's a line here. Everyone's in a hurry." Behind him, someone sighs loudly. Another customer throws in, "It's just ice cream. What's there to think about?" Jaden looks down. His hands begin to shake. He looks at the sheet of paper, but the letters are floating in front of his eyes. The words in his head are like a ball, and every attempt to unwind them is even more stressful. Mom takes a step forward but stops. Her heart is breaking, but she knows that if she intervenes now, she will take away the moment he has been dreaming of. In the corner, by the window, a man sits. He is dressed simply, a t-shirt, jeans, and a baseball cap. No one pays attention to him, but he sees everything. He notices how the little boy is struggling with his own fear. He notices how adults, instead of supporting him, put pressure. He notices how a little heart is squeezed with pain. This is Keanu Reeves. He puts down his coffee and straightens his back. His eyes are serious. He's not just a spectator. He's not one of those who passes by. Jaden looks up again. He tries to get the words out, but he can't. "If you can't talk, let your mom order it," the worker mutters. And it is at this moment that something changes. Keanu's gaze sharpens. His presence is like the calm before the storm. He's ready to act, just waiting for the right moment. Meanwhile, the employee's words cut through the air like a blade. Jaden jerks as if he's been hit. His eyes fill with tears and his face turns red. The kid stands there as if dug in. His lips are still moving, but no sounds come out. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a crumpled sheet of paper, the same one on which his mother had written the order in large letters. But the paper shakes in his fingers. The letters merge into spots. "What's going on there?" someone in line grumbles. "It's just ice cream. What's the big deal?" another adds. "How long can we wait?" a third says. The impatience in the hall is growing like a wave about to crash. People shift from foot to foot. Some sigh openly. Others look at Jaden with disgust, as if he were an obstacle, not a child. The mother, who had been holding herself together, takes a half step forward, her fingers tightening on the phone. Her eyes are full of pain. But before she can say anything, she is stopped by a weak voice. "I can do it myself. I can..." It is barely audible, like a breath, but it's enough to make her stop. Her eyes blink with tears, and she lets him continue. In her eyes, there is endless love and faith. And then, through this tense, stretched to the limit space, a calm but firm voice cuts through. "Excuse me." People in the cafe turn their heads. The man who had just been sitting by the window with his coffee is just a few steps away from the counter. He stepped out of the shadows, and although no one recognized him as a star, his presence suddenly became central. It was Keanu Reeves. His gaze is calm but piercing. He has every right to order himself, and he does it better than most adults, Keanu said. His words are not an accusation, but a statement, without aggression, but with power. His voice cuts through the air like a scalpel. The cafe falls silent. Even the children's laughter stops. No one moves. People seem to be waiting for what will happen next. Everyone looks at Keanu, then at the boy, then at the employee behind the counter. At this moment, the world seems to have frozen. And everyone in this cafe witnessed something much more than just ordering ice cream. In the silence that follows Keanu's words, each word sounds especially distinct. He turns to the worker, his voice still calm, but now it has a special tear in it, an emotional depth that pierces to the bone. "Do you know how much courage it takes to do this?" His voice does not rise, but it vibrates with power. How many times did he practice to say those few words? And you just destroyed all his efforts with one sentence. The cafe is silent. Some people are holding their breath. Some people have lowered their eyes. People who were sighing and grumbling just a few minutes ago now stand motionless, staring at the floor or at Jaden. Shame spreads through the room. It's not loud, but it's quiet. But it burns. The boy stands with the sheet in his hand, still shaking. But now he raises his head. His big eyes are full of tears, but they are full of determination. He takes a deep breath, swallows the lump in his throat, and in a trembling voice, as if breaking through a fog of shame, says, "1. Vanilla, with sprinkles. Please." These words are like an explosion in the silence. They sound louder than any scream. At this moment, everyone in the cafe feels that they have witnessed something profound. Some small but great feat. Someone in line looks down shyly. A middle-aged woman puts her hand over her heart. A young man takes off his cap. The silence is not empty. It is filled with awareness, shame, and respect. The worker stands in silence. He no longer throws out phrases, does not turn his eyes. His hands are nervously resting on the cash register, and his eyes are downcast. He does not know where to go. Maybe only now he realizes what he has done. Keanu leans forward a little, looking at him simply and sincerely. This guy is a hero. You wouldn't have lasted a day with the problem he overcomes every day. His voice is not an accusation. It is the truth, naked, direct, and inescapable. And this truth is painful, but it is necessary. Jaden's mom can't hold back her tears. Her shoulders shake, but she smiles. Not because it's easy, but because her son survived, for the first time in his life, on his own. And the world saw it. Keanu turns to Jaden, who is still standing with the sheet in his hand. His eyes are moist, but there is no fear on his face, only pride. Small, sincere pride. And then Keanu, with a smile that seems to turn on the lights in the room, says, "You did great. Best order of the day. Can I have the same?" Jaden's chin twitches and he smiles, tentatively at first, then wider. That smile through the tears is like a ray of sunshine after a storm. My mom is filming it on her phone. Her hands are shaking, but she doesn't look away from the lens. Her eyes shine, her lips tremble, but she holds back her sobs. This moment is golden. It's not to be missed. "Give him a double," a man in line suddenly calls out. His voice is deep, confident, but warm. "I'll have a vanilla like his." One of the younger customers smiles and raises his hand. "And me." "With sprinkles." The worker behind the counter, still confused, nods slowly and begins to type something on the register. His movements are cautious, as if he is afraid of making another mistake. The atmosphere in the cafe begins to change. It seems to be melting, like ice cream in children's hands. People are laughing. Some are taking pictures on their phones. Others are talking quietly. But there is warmth in every look. Something has broken between them. Something else has grown together. A new understanding. A new softness in their hearts. Keanu gently places his hand on Jaden's shoulder. "You know, you just taught us all something very important." Jaden looks up at him. His eyes are still wet, but they are clear and brighter than ever. The light in this cafe has changed. Not lamps, hearts. And it was done by a little boy with a big heart. Keanu sits down next to Jaden and his mom at a small table by the window. Outside the window is the hustle and bustle of Las Vegas, but inside is a quiet, almost festive atmosphere. Everyone has a vanilla ice cream with sprinkles in front of them, the most ordinary order, and the most special moment. Keanu takes a spoonful, but before he takes the first bite, he leans over to Jaden and says, "I've seen a lot of heroes, but you're my favorite." Jaden looks at him seriously, without smiling. In that look is the depth of his heart, all the struggle he has just won. And then he says, quietly but clearly, "I just wanted to be a big guy." Keanu smiles, softly, fatherly, and he answers, "And you became one." Jaden's mom can't hold back any longer. She puts down the phone, wipes her eyes, and just sits there watching her son. He holds his ice cream cone as if it were a trophy. And indeed, it is his victory. The cafe's cameras captured everything. But they were not the only ones. Many of the visitors filmed everything on their phones, from the first words of the employee to Keanu's words. Within hours, videos began to appear on social media. First one, then another. Then there was an explosion. The clips with the captions, "Never judge people too quickly," and "This is what true bravery means," went viral. Millions of views, hundreds of thousands of comments. People from all over the world wrote words of support to Jaden. Some called him an example. Some called him a source of inspiration. Some cried, others shared their own stories. But it didn't matter to Jaden. He didn't follow the likes. He didn't care about the headlines. Because he knew the main thing. He had done it himself. And Keanu was there. He saw it. He heard. And he believed in him. And that's all he needed. Sometimes true courage is not in the big things you do, but in the small steps that are the hardest to take. Like ordering an ice cream when the whole world is looking at you with anticipation and eagerness. Jaden didn't win a medal. He didn't conquer the stage, but he conquered fear. And that's what made him a hero. We often judge people by their speed, appearance, and speech. But true greatness lies in sincerity, kindness, and effort, in the ability to see the heart behind the words. This story is not about Keanu. It's not even about the cafe. It's about us, about what we can be, and about how one good deed can change the whole world, at least for one child. Be the ones who see, those who hear, those who support. Because sometimes, to change someone's day, you just need to be there. Be sure to share your impressions of the story in the comments and write what conclusions you have drawn after listening to it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I wish you all a good mood and see you in the new video tomorrow.